Welcome to English Prime Podcast. Let's get started.
Hey, English learners. Welcome back to English Prime Podcast. Here, we learn real English through simple conversations, daily life stories, and powerful communication tips. So relax, enjoy, and let's improve your English together. I'm Emma.
And I'm Jake. Here we help you understand real-life English in a very simple and natural way, just by listening and enjoying the conversation.
Yeah, and I really like these kinds of conversations where we don't just learn English, but we also talk about real life, things that actually matter.
Exactly, because language is not just words. It's how we think, how we feel, and how we understand life.
Yeah, and I was thinking about something recently. Why do people give up so easily, even when they're actually doing okay?
That's a good question. I think it happens more than we realize. Sometimes people are really close to success, but they just don't see it.
Yeah, like they're trying, they're putting in effort, but because they don't see results quickly, they start feeling like nothing is working.
Exactly. And that feeling is very powerful. It makes you think, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe I should stop.
I've felt that too, honestly. Like you try something for weeks or even months and still feel stuck. It's frustrating.
It really is. And the strange thing is, that's usually the point where most people quit.
Really? Like right before things start to change?
Yeah. Not always, of course, but very often. Because progress is not always visible in the beginning.
That actually makes a lot of sense. Because in real life, we expect quick results, right? Like if we don't see improvement, we think we're doing something wrong.
Exactly. Whether it's learning English, going to the gym, or building any skill, people want to see results fast.
And when that doesn't happen, they slowly lose motivation.
Yeah. And then comes that thought, what's the point of continuing?
So today, we're going to talk about something really important. Why people quit too early, and how sometimes they're actually much closer to success than they think.
Yeah. And maybe by the end of this conversation, you'll see your own situation a little differently.
And if you enjoy these kinds of real and simple conversations, please like the video and subscribe to our channel.
All right. So let's talk about it. Why does this actually happen?
I think it usually starts with a simple feeling, like I'm trying, but it's not working.
Yeah, that feeling is very common. And it's also very dangerous because it slowly kills your motivation.
Exactly. At first, you're excited, you feel motivated, you start something new. But after some time, that excitement just fades away.
And then reality hits. You realize it's not easy. It takes time. And that's when things start to feel heavy.
Yeah, and sometimes you don't even feel like continuing. Not because you're lazy, but because you're tired mentally.
That's an important point. It's not always about physical effort. It's more about emotional energy.
Right. Like you're putting in effort, but inside you're thinking, am I even improving?
And when you don't have a clear answer to that, your mind starts creating doubts.
Yeah, thoughts like, maybe I'm not good at this, or maybe this isn't for me.
Exactly. And the more you think like that, the harder it becomes to keep going.
I think another problem is we expect things to change quickly.
Yeah, we want fast results.
Like, if I start something today, I want to see improvement in a few days.
But real growth doesn't work like that. Most of the time, it's slow, quiet, and almost invisible.
And that's the frustrating part, because it feels like nothing is happening.
Yeah, and when it feels like nothing is happening, that's when people start thinking about quitting.
Not because they don't care, but because they feel stuck.
Exactly. And that feeling of being stuck is where most people give up.
Yeah, and the strange thing is, sometimes they're not actually stuck. It just feels like that.
That's true. I think one big reason behind this is people don't see immediate results.
Yeah. Like they're doing the work, but there's no clear outcome yet.
Exactly. And our brain doesn't like that. It wants quick feedback, something that shows, yes, this is working.
But when that doesn't happen, it creates doubt.
Right. And slowly, that doubt turns into frustration.
And then frustration turns into thoughts like, what's the point?
Yeah. And that's where emotional burnout starts.
Emotional burnout? What do you mean by that?
I mean, you're not physically tired, but mentally, you just don't feel like doing it anymore.
Oh, yeah, that's so real. Like, even thinking about it feels heavy.
Exactly. And when something starts feeling heavy like that, people naturally want to avoid it.
That's true. And I think another thing is people don't notice their small progress.
Yes, that's a big one. Progress is happening, but it's too small to see daily.
So they think nothing is changing, even though it actually is.
Right. It's like if you improve just a little every day, you won't notice it immediately.
But after some time, it becomes something big.
Exactly. But most people don't wait long enough to see that.
So basically, it's not that they're failing, it's just that they can't see their progress yet.
Yeah, and because they can't see it, they believe it's not there.
But I think sometimes quitting is actually the right decision.
Yeah, I agree. Sometimes it is.
Like, if something really doesn't feel right, or you're not happy doing it, then maybe stopping is okay.
That's true. But I think the problem is most people don't quit for the right reasons.
What do you mean?
I mean, they don't quit because something is wrong. They quit because it's getting difficult.
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah, there's a difference between saying, this is not right for me, and saying, this is too hard for me.
Oh, that actually makes a lot of sense.
Because if something is meaningful, it will feel hard at some point.
True. Nothing valuable is easy all the time.
Exactly. So when things start getting uncomfortable, people think they should stop.
But maybe that discomfort is part of the process.
Yeah, that's what I believe. Growth usually feels uncomfortable.
So basically, when it starts feeling hard, that might actually be a sign to continue?
Not always, but very often, yes.
That's interesting, because most people see difficulty as a sign to quit.
Yeah, but sometimes it's actually a sign that you're moving forward.
So maybe the real question is not, should I quit? But why do I want to quit?
Exactly. And that one question can change everything.
Yeah, because sometimes the reason is not clear. You just feel like stopping.
Right. And that's where people miss something very important, the idea of invisible progress.
Invisible progress? What do you mean by that?
I mean, you are improving, but you just can't see it yet.
Yeah, that's actually frustrating.
It is, because we usually expect progress to be obvious, something we can notice easily.
Like clear results, clear improvement.
Exactly. But in reality, most growth happens quietly, in the background.
So like small changes that we don't really pay attention to?
Yes, small changes in your thinking, your habits, your understanding.
That's true, especially with something like learning English.
Yeah, perfect example. At the beginning, everything feels hard. You don't understand much, you struggle to speak.
And you feel like you're not improving at all.
But actually, your brain is learning, slowly building connections.
So even if I don't see big results, something is still happening inside.
Exactly. And if you stop at that point, all that hidden progress goes to waste.
That's kind of sad, honestly.
Yeah, because people leave right before things start becoming visible.
So the hardest phase is actually the phase where you can't see your progress yet.
Exactly. And that's also the phase where you need patience the most.
Yeah, but honestly, that's the hardest part for most people.
True, because when you don't see results, it's very hard to stay patient.
And you start asking yourself, is this even worth it?
Yeah, or should I just stop and try something else?
I think everyone has felt that at some point.
Definitely. So let's ask the listener something.
Yeah, so viewers, have you ever felt like this?
Like you're putting in effort, but nothing seems to change?
Or maybe you started something with a lot of excitement, but after some time you just lost interest?
And then you thought, maybe this isn't for me.
If you've ever felt that way, you're not alone.
Yeah, almost everyone goes through this phase.
So, what do you usually do in that situation?
Do you stop or do you keep going?
that decision can really change everything.
Yeah. And sometimes you don't even realize how important that moment is.
This actually reminds me of something.
What happened?
So, a while ago, I decided to improve my speaking skills. I was practicing almost every day, listening, repeating, trying to speak more.
That sounds good so far.
Yeah, but after a few weeks, I still felt the same. I couldn't see any real improvement.
That must have been frustrating.
It really was. I started thinking, what's the point of all this? I felt like I was just wasting my time.
Yeah, that feeling can be very strong.
And honestly, I was very close to quitting. Like, I almost stopped completely.
So, what made you continue?
I don't know. Maybe I just thought, let me try a little longer.
Sometimes that little longer makes a big difference.
Exactly. Because after some time, something changed.
Really? What happened?
I noticed I was understanding more, and speaking felt a bit easier. Not perfect, but better.
That's interesting. So the progress was there all along.
Yeah, I just couldn't see it in the beginning.
That's the key point right there.
If I had quit earlier, I would have never reached that moment.
Exactly. And that's what happens to a lot of people.
They stop just before things start getting better.
Yeah, and they don't even realize how close they were.
That's actually a little scary, because it means people might be quitting without understanding what's really happening.
Exactly. And I think one big mistake people make is they expect fast results.
Yeah, like if something doesn't change quickly, they assume it's not working.
But real progress doesn't work like that. It takes time and consistency.
And I think another mistake is comparing yourself too early.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
You look at someone who's already good, and then you look at yourself, and you feel like you're behind.
Exactly. But you don't see their journey. You only see their result.
And that can really affect your confidence.
Yeah, and then people start relying only on motivation.
Yeah, and motivation doesn't stay forever.
Right. Some days you feel like doing it, and some days you don't.
So if you only depend on motivation, you'll stop when it disappears.
Exactly. That's why consistency is more important.
Even if it's a small effort, just keep showing up.
Yeah, because small steps over time create big results.
So maybe the goal is not to be perfect, but to just keep going.
Exactly. Keep going, even when it feels slow, even when it feels boring.
So viewers, what about you?
Yeah. Have you ever quit something too early?
Or are you going through something right now where you feel like giving up?
What do you usually do in that situation?
Do you stop, or do you push a little more?
Share your thoughts with us. We'd really like to hear your experience.
All right, so before we move forward, let's quickly look at some useful English from our conversation, just to help you understand and use these expressions in your daily life.
Yeah, nothing complicated. Just simple, real phrases that people actually use.
So one phrase we used was give up.
Yeah, give up is very common. It simply means to stop trying.
Like when you feel something is too hard and you decide to quit.
For example, you can say, I wanted to learn English, but I almost gave up.
But hopefully you don't give up.
Yeah, keep yelling.
Another useful phrase we used was keep going.
This one is kind of the opposite of give up.
Exactly. It means to continue, even when things are difficult.
Like, it was hard at first, but I decided to keep going.
And honestly, this phrase is very powerful in real life.
Yeah, simple, but very meaningful.
We also use the phrase not seeing results.
This means when you are doing something, but you don't notice any improvement.
Like, I've been practicing, but I'm not seeing results.
And that's usually the point where people feel frustrated.
Exactly. But as we discussed, just because you're not seeing results doesn't mean nothing is happening.
Right. Sometimes progress is just hidden.
Another nice expression is figure things out.
Yeah, this one is very useful. It means to understand something slowly or find a solution.
Like when you're confused at first, but then you slowly start understanding.
For example, I didn't understand it at the beginning, but I'm trying to figure things out.
And that's a very natural way to speak.
Yeah, native speakers use this all the time.
We also talked about stay consistent.
This means to keep doing something regularly without stopping.
Even if it's a small effort, you do it again and again.
For example, if you stay consistent, you will improve over time.
And I think this is one of the most important ideas from today's conversation.
Definitely. Consistency is what creates real progress.
So try to use these phrases in your own sentences. That's how you'll remember them better.
Yeah, don't just listen. Try to use them in real life.
And now, it's your turn to speak a little.
Yeah, this part is really important because speaking helps you remember better.
So we're going to ask you a few simple questions, and you can try to answer them out loud.
You can pause the video if you need more time. There's no rush.
All right, here's the first question. Have you ever wanted to quit something?
And if yes, what was it?
Second question. Why did you feel like quitting?
Was it because it was too hard or because you didn't see results?
And one more. What helps you continue when things feel difficult?
Or do you usually stop and try something else?
Try to answer these questions in simple English. Even small sentences are okay.
Yeah, don't worry about mistakes. Just focus on expressing your thoughts.
And if you really want to improve your English through conversations like this,
Make sure you subscribe and keep learning with us.
because the more you listen and the more you speak,
The more confident you'll become, step by step.
so let's quickly go over what we talked about today, just to bring everything together.
Yeah, because this topic is simple, but really important.
So let's quickly go over what we talked about today, just to bring everything together.
Yeah, because this topic is simple but really important.
We started by talking about how many people give up, not because they can't do something, but because they don't see results quickly.
Exactly. And that feeling of it's not working can be very strong.
Then we talked about how that feeling slowly turns into doubt.
Yeah, like thinking maybe this isn't for me, or maybe I should stop.
And we also discussed that it's not always about being tired physically.
But more about being tired mentally, that emotional burnout.
Right. And that's the moment where most people decide to quit.
But then we looked deeper and realized that sometimes you're not actually stuck.
You just can't see your progress yet.
Exactly. That idea of invisible progress is very important.
Because even when you don't see results, something is still happening.
Yeah, your skills are improving, your understanding is growing, slowly but surely.
We also talked about the difference between quitting for the right reasons.
And quitting just because something feels hard.
And that's a big difference.
Yeah, because if something is meaningful, it will feel difficult sometimes.
And that doesn't mean you should stop.
Exactly. Sometimes it actually means you should keep going.
We also shared that story about continuing even when nothing seemed to change.
And how progress finally became visible after some time.
Which shows that patience really matters.
Definitely. And we talked about some common mistakes too.
Like expecting fast results
Comparing yourself to others.
and relying only on motivation.
Yeah, instead of staying consistent.
And we also learned some useful phrases today.
Like give up, keep going, figure things out.
Not seeing results and stay consistent.
Simple phrases, but very useful in real life.
So overall, the main idea is simple.
You might be closer than you think.
So don't stop too early.
Yeah, sometimes the hardest moment is right before things start to get better.
So keep going, even if it feels slow, even if it feels like nothing is changing yet.
Because progress is not always visible, but it is happening.
And little by little, everything starts to make sense.
Exactly.
And if you enjoyed this conversation today and you like learning English in this natural way,
Then make sure you subscribe to English Prime Podcast.
we'll keep bringing simple, real conversations like this so you can improve your English without pressure.
Yeah, just listen, understand, and slowly start speaking with confidence.
And don't forget, your English doesn't improve in one day. It improves step by step.
Just like everything else in life.
All right, that's all for today's episode.
We really hope this helped you think a little differently.
Take care of yourself and keep going with whatever you're working on.
We'll see you in the next episode.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.